guys, it's me and Todd and Charlie again. Oh, hey guys, it's me, Todd, and Charlie again.
Yeah, can we?
What's going on?
Hey everyone.
Charlie, are you frozen?
I don't know.
Nope, you're good. We're good. Okay, and today we're talking about adaptations of Western adaptations only. No manga, because that is an entirely different beast, entirely different Goliath, or like to talk about,
Yeah.
So we're only talking about Western adaptations from Europe in America, like in North America, not counting Canada.
All right.
Okay, so I think maybe we should start off with comics to movies.
Okay.
You gotta speak up, Charlie. You gotta speak
up. As far as like comic books to movies, do you want to like talk about animated or just anything that's like from a comic to a movie?
Anything that's from a comic to a movie. And Charlie, you need to speak up.
Okay. Can you guys please show your faces?
Okay. You see mine?
I really can't because my internet's being weird right now.
Ah, jeez. You can't try, Todd? Oh, man.
Can you see mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it really going to be that big of an issue? Would you rather be able to hear me or would you rather be able to see me?
Can't do both?
Not really right now.
All right, we'll just have to bite the bullet. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I keep my screen off or?
No, Brooks. If you could do it, then you do it.
Okay. So, to get back to the podcast, let's start with the first comic to movie adaptation. Well, we're doing TVs and all their stuff, but Superman. And first off, when I first saw this movie, I enjoyed it. But
we're
as
talking
I
about
started,
1978, right?
Yes, 1978 one with Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater a while ago for the first time, and it was pretty good. It was pretty cool. I'm sure I would call it a good adaptation for a 70s film. But I think that that was a culmination of like decades worth of fan service, just Hollywood recognizing, hey, there's an audience for this. Maybe we should make a movie out of it, and it blew up, and it was widely successful.
And that was the birth of the comic book movie industry.
I mean, it's the first really big one. I mean, there was comic book movies back in the 40s.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't full-length films though. They were like, serials.
Yeah, but
they
this
were
was
in
the
theaters.
first big one, the big screen. And
yeah, this is the first blockbuster film for sure. I actually saw that movie in theaters when it was released in theaters. I was like 7 years old when it came out. So the big thing about that movie that people were like, the tagline was,
you can believe a man can fly. I'm sorry.
Right, because the special effects they used were like brand new for the movie. They hadn't used those special effects before. So they combined green screen and like wires, and they perfected it, I guess. Maybe not the first time, but it was definitely better than any other time that they've used those types of effects.
Movie magic.
Okay, my opinion. I might have an unpopular opinion on this. Probably since I grew up in I was born like decades after this came out. This movie does not stick with me, and the ending is so this Superman can't accept consequences, so they decided just write whatever the heck they wanted, and just decided to spin the world around, and so Superman can save his girlfriend, even though that would kill everyone, including his girlfriend.
The thing is you're thinking real world physics in a comic book movie, and in those days they treated comic book movies like cartoons, like they didn't use like real
that's
world
how
physics.
we have such campiness now. But yeah, I'm with you, Brooks. It's probably because modern day cinema has just spoiled me. But
Yeah.
I think I'm not crazy about the original 1978 Superman film. I've just been spoiled by modern day Hollywood, and it's just the effects and acting just feel it's just a little bland. Better than bland. I don't want to say bland. It's just
Let's just say above that.
I've had so much better. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help myself. It's just, but I like it for what it is. I'm sure it was amazing. I know, no, I know for a fact it was amazing and a giant leap forward for filmmaking at the time it came out. But going back and rewatching it, it's just it doesn't ring home as much as I'm sure.
So you don't think it holds up? You don't think it's worth watching?
No.
No, if you're showing this to children, maybe
it's worth watching. I mean, it's better. Worth. I think it's aged better than a lot of the James Bond films from the 20th century.
Yeah, James Bond being the misogynist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a big misogynist. But yeah, I just it just pales in comparison to what this to the modern day superhero films and even of the 90s. That's all.
How do you compare? How would you say Man of Steel compares to the Superman the movie?
I have not seen Man of Steel in years, but let me just say this: it is well worth going back to and watching, so you could see what filmmaking was like at that time. What a superhero
a time capsule.
Yeah, it's good that it's a product of its time because you get just like watching just about any other movie from a certain era. It's enjoyable because you get to see a superhero film from the 70s, and that ain't nothing. It's enjoyable in that sense.
I would compare it to the 2007 Transformers film. It was great because it was a live action version of a cartoon thing, but it still wasn't as good as the original.
Yeah. We can get into that too, but
I mean, Man
back
of Steel?
to comparing Superman to Man of Steel. Okay, may I go first?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Todd. You meant comparing Transformers to Man of Steel?
No, I'm talking about like the Superman the movie from 1978.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So
because they're both great for what they are, but they're far from good.
Okay.
As far as story, I mean, the acting was decent for the time. The story could have been better, I thought.
Okay. So about comparing Superman to Man of Steel, I do feel like that when I first saw Man of Steel, I was a little bit blood hungry, like, so when I saw Superman kill Zod, I was like, yeah. But now later, growing up, I look at it differently, but it's still the same thing that it was, and it's necessary because even if because you can't always contain villains. About superheroes, I always had a problem with them as a child. Like if you put a supervillain in the jail, and then they'll escape again, and then put them in jail, escape. So why not just kill them and then you don't escape anymore?
Yeah, that's why I've never been totally into Batman. He refuses to kill his enemies, and
well, let's put it this way: if he was to kill the Joker or any of the Rogues Gallery, there wouldn't be much more to talk about with Batman because he would be done and over with.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
Exactly.
catch-22 with the comic. It's kind of like it's a catch-22.
You know, and the fact that they escaped prison says more about the legal system in the comic books than it does the vigilante.
Yeah, I know. But like, it could be they keep getting out. Like, eventually, at what point does he just put his morals aside and say, "Fuck it, they need to die"? Like, it's not
Well,
his.
from Jason, like
yeah,
what Jason. Sorry,
to not think about himself. And just he needs to put the dogs down.
wait. Just one thing. From the movie Batman Under the Red Hood, there was this exact conversation why Batman won't kill the Joker. And with Jason Todd, I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I will.
What? What? Your moral code just won't allow for it? It's just too hard to cross that line. No, God Almighty, no. It'd be too damn easy. All I ever wanted to do was kill him. There's not a day I would go by that I would want to subject him to every horrendous torture he dealt with others and then end him. But if I do that, if I go down into that place, I'll never go back. Why? I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Scarecrow or Dent. I'm talking about him. Just him. That's it. Yeah, but that's a brilliant point that, like, even Batman really wants to kill him. But what happened with his parents, and now that affected him, that his parents was murdered by a murderer, and what that'll say about him when he murders the Joker, that's why he doesn't want to kill. That's when I was whining for years to know why Batman doesn't want to kill the Joker, and then I finally understood with that scene.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I kind of... Okay, first of all, how does he know that for a fact? And if he... First of all, Batman has killed before. Like he has in comics and shows. He's broken that rule before, and he doesn't know. How does he know that for a fact that he'll he's going to turn into a villain? Or
no, it's not that he's going to turn to a villain. It's that he'll go insane.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, he's already fragile as it is, as a broken human that he is. If he was to kill somebody, that would push him over the edge, and he would probably end up becoming one of the bad guys just because he would have gone insane.
Or like the Joker, he'd become like the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just all right. If he can't kill them, someone has to. Like,
I wonder
why are you fixating on like killing the Joker? I mean, do you really want to get rid of that character? Do you not like the character?
No, it's not that I love. I do. Well, okay. No, it's not that I don't like the Joker. Far from it. I love the Joker, but
it's repetition. It's repetition.
Yeah, it's the reasons why he won't kill him. He has a weak reason for not.
I don't think it's a weak reason at all. I think that's a very strong reason.
Okay, it's not okay. So it's not a weak reason. It's not a weak reason, but it's just. I think it's a little flawed. I don't buy it that he'll go insane if he takes a life.
It's supposed to be the catch-22, but it's supposed to be like.
I mean, is taking a life really so far off from? And he has to realize that Joker is just pure evil. He's not going to stop unless he's dead. So he has to put what he wants.
No, I mean, see, that's the thing with being a good guy. You don't do things like kill, right?
Yeah, I know, but like.
So this is why police officers are not supposed to shoot and kill like people they pull over. They're supposed to put them in handcuffs and take them to jail.
But police officers do kill sometimes.
Yeah, and that's when those guys end up having to themselves go to jail. But we won't go on to that story. So, point is, you can't you can't say, why doesn't he just kill him and just get it over with? Because number one, that would end the story with the Joker. You would never see the see or hear the Joker ever again.
Yeah,
and the Joker is too popular.
In the Batman '89 movie, he did kill off the Joker.
Well, no, he didn't kill the Joker. The Joker fell to his death.
Well, he did let go of the, grappling.
So, but
yeah, and ow. But he eventually okay, to quote Deadpool from Deadpool 2, sometimes doing the right thing is messy and fucked up, but you have to do it because it's the right thing. So there are real life calls for someone to die.
And that's exactly what Superman with Zod.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, now, it's not Batman's job to be the executioner. He could, put him in Arkham or put him in Redgate, or the hell the prison's called in the DC universe. I think, if anything, if they wanted to kill the Joker, he would be put on death row, and he would be executed that way.
That's a pretty good point, Todd. Yeah, actually, yeah. Why doesn't if the Batman can't kill him, then why doesn't the legal system do it? Yeah, that's a good point.
Actually, they did this in a Robot Chicken sketch where they actually put Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill, to the electric chair, and it's like, I know Jesus will forgive me. Is that a joke? No. Okay.
That's great. Oh man,
really good point. Yes. So why doesn't the prison system just put them on death row?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as stories go, they're not gonna completely do away with like characters
because they just need to bring him back because he's a great villain. And I think that's a stupid reason. Just bringing back a great villain. Well, okay, story-wise, that's a dumb reason. You need to really think of a legitimately good reason that makes sense in the story to bring a villain back. That's what really makes it. But I mean, if I guess if the fans love it love the villain that much, and if they've written themselves into a corner, but in many cases, I've found that DC Comics often don't write themselves into a corner.
Or they retcon it.
Yeah, or they just reboot the timeline, which they've done quite a few times. But so worst case scenario is that they write themselves into a corner and they just decide no, and the characters decide no, we're actually not going to do the right thing and murder this evil rotten soul. We're going to leave him alive, but the fans in their minds know this villain's coming back, aren't they? Yeah, but and if the ideally, best case scenario is that they do have a legitimate reason for keeping him alive, and that makes sense in the story. That's when DC Comics shines their brightest. And this can also go both ways. They have a legitimate reason for killing the villain too. DC has always has done that before too, and I love them for it. So those are
right. DC Comics have admitted to making mistakes. Like after they did the New 52, people hated the New 52.
Oh, I loved it.
A lot of people hated the New 52. So a few years later, they decided to reboot again, called Rebirth.
Yeah, that was good too. That was a worthy follow-up.
We're talking about adaptations, not just the comics.
Okay.
Right,
so
I know.
On to Marvel comics.
Okay, we could.
Marvel. Okay, let's talk with the first big Marvel Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, the
So
first one was good.
Yeah. I've seen. I saw the first one in theaters with my mom when I was just a little kid. Green Goblin's scared the living shit out of me.
I thought he looked like a bad Power Rangers bad guy to me.
He
But,
does. But guess what?
Accurate.
I actually have seen this art of him. I actually have seen an art of him, and that like design looks way better hand drawn.
yeah, they decided to go with like the motorcycle suit, as some of my friends called it. It was essentially just a leather suit and a really cool looking helmet. And initially, I guess they were going to do like a flesh looking goblin.
Yeah, I
But
saw the concept art, and it looked pretty cool.
there was actually it wasn't just concept art. They actually, I think they had made they started to work on the prosthetics. So there's an actual photo of the mask that was never finished.
Why did
But
they
it's
stop?
because it was quicker and cheaper, I think, to do the other one. Because the other thing to keep in mind, the reason why they probably did that was because that movie was supposed to come out in 2001.
When I was born, that's why.
Right.
I don't
So
have
it was supposed to come out in 2001. It got delayed because of the attacks in New York.
Right.
And they had to reshoot half the movie because there was a huge scene in the movie where he caught the bad guys between a web between the two towers.
I've heard of this.
Wow. Really? Did not know that. Yeah, I heard that they had to I think edit out a scene where the two towers show up in the reflection of Spidey's eyeglasses or eyes.
I don't think they actually removed it from the movie. They removed it from all the promotional stuff because they cut that scene out entirely. The whole last half of the movie, and you can see where the movie changes because it's the whole "don't screw with New York" scene. There's like right from that point on, it was a different story. It changed gears.
The adults screw with New York scene.
Yeah, don't fuck with New York.
Spidey, you mess with all of us. You mess with one of us. You mess with all of us.
Yeah, that whole sequence where he's like attacking, I think it was Mary Jane, and like all the New Yorkers on the bridge were throwing bricks at the Goblin and whatnot.
Yeah, I know that scene.
It actually.
So from that moment onward, it's changed.
Yeah, they changed the whole ending of the movie.
Cool.
Wait, okay. So let's compare like Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire to Christopher Superman because they're pretty similar to each other. Even though it's been decades apart, they're both have campy acting and like both have like.
Well, I mean, Christopher Reeves' Superman was kind of the blueprint for a lot of superhero movies after that movie came out. Because before that, all the superhero stuff was super campy and super cheesy, and you couldn't take anything in it serious.
Wait, what about
like
the Batman?
A good example was the Adam West Batman.
What about the Batman 89 one?
Huh?
What about the Batman 89 one? That was pretty serious and dark.
Yeah,
it was.
Did his own thing there.
Yeah, Tim Burton wanted to bring it back to. I mean, he was essentially trying to do Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. He was trying to make it dark and and make Batman actually terrifying to people. Scared to living crap out of that first guy in the movie. What are you? I'm Batman.
Okay.
And he didn't have to go. He didn't have to. He didn't have to talk like he was just gargling battery acid either. So, I'm Batman.
Christian Bale. I loved him as
Batman. He sounded like a bulldog trying to get his bone.
Right up. Oh wait, that was like Harvey Dent.
Okay. Now I remember what I want to say. First of all, next year is going to mark 20 years since Spider-Man came out. So that's going to be cool. And I actually really liked Green Goblin, the outfit they went with. But I gotta give it to Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man for my pick. Just because modern cinema, like I said before, modern cinema has spoiled me. His acting is just I like his performance better. It's all around better, and the
Yeah,
suit.
and here's the comparisons between Spider-Man 2 and Superman 2, which in Superman 2 he does remove his abilities, but in Spider-Man 2 he does remove his abilities.
Oh
But
yeah,
here's where like Spider-Man has the advantage actually, because here's because it is decades after, and Spider-Man was supposed to be a more grounded character than Superman, so it was treated like a normal college kid, like living his life, and this giving up this burden and actually trying to live a regular life.
Yeah.
yeah, I see.
And
I don't know. I think if I had to pick my favorite Spider-Man in live action, it would have to be Tom Holland, because not only is he the right age, he's a high school student, and he actually has a New York accent. That's another thing that the other two did not have.
Actually, Andrew Garfield tried to have a New York accent.
Well, trying and actually doing are two different things.
I did not hear an accent in Tom Holland's voice at all, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, considering he's English, he's British.
Yeah, I know.
And he sounds like he's from New York. I mean, I'm not from New York, and I can hear it.
Yeah. Well, what does a New York accent sound like? Really? I mean,
He's from New Jersey, actually.
Seriously, you've never heard a New York accent ever in your life?
I've heard of Brooklyn accents, but New York, are they one and the same? I mean,
Yes, Brooklyn is in New York.
Brooklyn is part of New York.
City.
Yes.
New York City.
Brooklyn accents. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know that.
And Spidey's from Queens. Isn't that near Brooklyn?
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if Spidey is. I don't know if Queens is in Brooklyn, but yeah, I've never heard Tom Holland Spider-Man using a Brooklyn accent. Never.
All right. I mean, I totally heard a New York accent, whether it be Brooklyn or wherever. The fact is, New York City, New York State. He doesn't sound like he's from California. He doesn't sound like he's from the Midwest. He doesn't sound like he's from anywhere but New York State.
Yeah, I mean, would you say I have a New Jersey accent?
Yes.
Seriously?
Would you say I have New Orleans accent?
No. Brooks, would you say I have a New Jersey accent?
But I'm just saying, comparing state to state, since we're comparing. Never mind. Let's just get back to the. Comparing adaptations. Okay, so the first adaptation of Spider-Man I ever seen on the big screen was Amazing Spider-Man 2. It made me cry like a little bitch because when Gwen Stacy died, it made me and my friend who came with me cry.
Yeah, did not like that one bit.
You're cutting out.
Oh, sorry. Wait, did you hear me?
Todd?
No.
Todd?
Todd?
Right.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. We got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you hear us?
I can now, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let's just back. Okay, so I did, and also, I'm gonna go back to the Tobey Maguire series. I think the one that does look most comic book accurate is both Doc Ock and Venom. Even though he's not exactly the size, it is definitely the Venom skin and the eyes. Even though probably the Tom Hardy one looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now Tom Hardy, I think, was a better choice. Don't get me wrong, Topher Grace is a good actor, but he is no Eddie Brock.
Yeah. Did you guys know? Because I love Venom the comics, and the movie is It's a guilty pleasure. It's far from perfect for me, but I do thoroughly enjoy it. Anyway, but did you guys know that Sony has been trying to make that Venom movie for years, ever since Spider-Man 3?
Oh yeah, they're trying to make a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since like
That-
around Spider-Man 3, they tried to get him into the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but those tanked, and they've been trying to
Yeah.
before and after that they've kept trying to get the movie off the ground, and they finally did it.
Yeah. I the way I heard it is they forced Eddie Brock's character into the third movie, and that's why that movie didn't do very well. I think is because it was like an afterthought. They added the character as an afterthought because of the popularity of Venom. We should put him in this movie, but he's not part of the story. Well, we'll change him out for this guy, and then it just.
Yeah,
and Topher Grace was not the right choice for that part. He just wasn't.
Yeah, I heard it had too many villains.
And that's the same problem with Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I feel like the only cool villain out of that series was the Rhino, because I feel like that one did have potential.
They racked for the Rhino.
No, I mean not the character, the design of the costume. At least that was cool. Can you admit that?
No.
Maybe
it's because I'm a sucker for robots.
Yes. Look up
probably
Spider-Man Miles Morales. The Rhino is in that game. It is 1,000 times better than.
Yes.
I yet to play the Spider-Man video games, and I will get to that.
It's really good. I need to get back into playing it. I haven't touched it in like a month.
Yeah, I beat it.
I have not gotten that far, but
okay. What do you think of the Tom Holland Spider-Man villains?
You know what? As far as his villains, I don't know. I think the best one so far has been Mysterio.
Oh, it's usually Vulture that everyone.
Nah, I like Vulture better.
Yeah. I mean, Mysterio looks like he was ripped out of the comics, but I feel like the character. I feel like it's in the same situation as the character Hans from Frozen. I mean, we liked him at first, but when he gets his big reveal as the villain, he turns into a completely different character, and he kind of just gets weird.
I don't know. I mean, I liked the Vulture, and I thought, of course, I'm blanking on his name now. The actor who plays him was good, but Michael Keaton. Thank you. And Michael Keaton was great for that part. Vulture has never been a character that I cared for. It's an old guy who has a bird suit, you know.
Yeah.
And try to make it cool and mechanized bird suit with Jatari tech.
I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, I liked how he essentially took like the alien tech and made his wings. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought they could have done more with Mysterio than what we got. And I think that would have made the character so much better.
A comic adaptation that I really want to see is
Agent Venom.
It's in the works for the DCEU. Is adaptation of the Blue Beetle comics. That's a character that can rival Spider-Man. In terms of personality, powers, and storyline, and it can rival Spider-Man.
I absolutely loved Blue Beetle when I first saw him in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, he has.
Sorry, are we talking like the original Blue Beetle, or are we talking Jaime?
We're talking Jaime. We're talking the.
Okay.
You know.
Because Frank is cool and all, but Jaime was, I think, a better Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I call him JP. But yeah. His New 52 storyline was fantastic. Although I do not like the ending. Not crazy about the ending. It has a cliffhanger ending, and it wraps up in Threshold, and it just kind of happens. But
I liked
is amazing too, as is his 2006 series.
I liked him in Young Justice. I thought his character was awesome in Young Justice.
Sure, he was amazing, but
yeah, I liked Young Justice too.
he needs a solo movie, hopefully live action in the DCEU, but I'll take animated straight to video. He has much potential. If when he finally does get a solo film, it'll be compared to Spider-Man. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, because he's a teenager, and it's just yeah. I think the likelihood of him becoming a live action character, we might see him in Titans, in DC's Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll definitely start watching. Like,
the season 3 starts like on Friday, and it's gonna have the Red Hood, so I'm all over.
Yeah,
that.
Red Hood, Jason.
That's right up your alley.
Jason.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to start watching.
Jason Todd in season 2 was a prick. I so wanted badly to see him get beat, but
Jason Todd was likable, but yet really deadly and under the hood.
Yeah, I mean he got seriously messed up by the Joker. They didn't have. I don't think they had that storyline in any of the shows. I think there was the Red Hood animated movie, which is where I was introduced to that idea.
Yeah, I was introduced to the Red Hood in that movie too. And can we get back to? Let's get to like the TV shows. Like, let's compare like Marvel to DC. Which one has better animated TV shows?
Better animated shows?
Yes.
Animated TV.
I don't know.
If you would have asked me like 10 years ago, I would have said DC all day.
Yeah, I've barely seen any. I mean, I guess I watched more DC when I was little, just because they aired on Cartoon Network, and so I've seen more DC shows, but I have not seen barely any Marvel shows. So
I have one for you. Sure. Spectacular Spider-Man. The Spider-Man in that show is the definitive Peter Parker and definitive Spider-Man. Better than any of the movies.
I'll agree. Spectacular Spider-Man. That's the one where he's in high school, right?
Yes.
And he's in his school with Power Man and Iron Fist and all that.
No,
that was a great series.
Spider-Man. This is Spectacular Spider-Man 2008 one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is that the one voiced by Drake Bell?
No,
yes, it is.
Josh Keaton.
Yeah. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure Spectacular Spider-Man was Drake Bell.
That's
and then Josh
Spider-Man. That's the one with Nick Fury. This is the one made by Sony.
Oh, Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's Spectacular Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is made by Disney.
So confused right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, you're confusing the shit out of me. So, but anyways, all of those shows that you mentioned are all great for whatever, for their various reasons. The one I'm thinking of has Coulson as the principal of the school, and they work part-time with S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought that was a great one because it had lots of great Marvel characters making like guest appearances. I mean, the X-Men made an appearance, the Fantastic Four, even Deadpool showed up.
Yeah, I know. So, it was the first time I saw Spider-Man and Deadpool together, and not the last, since Deadpool's not in the MCU.
Yeah.
Finally. Oh my God.
As long as his solo films continue to be rated R, then I'm fine. It's fine.
Yeah. They will. They will. And honestly, I don't see them changing that. And even if they did change that, the Once Upon a Deadpool was still pretty funny.
It was just they cannot make PG-13 Deadpool. No.
They did though, and it was really good.
No, they cannot censor a movie that's already been rated R.
Well, on Disney Plus, they had
did though.
They said the F-bomb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can say fuck once in a PG-13 movie.
Get away with that.
But you had not said fuck any time in a Marvel movie under Disney.
Not under Disney. No.
Under Fox, sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Wolverine said fuck off, but yeah,
No, he said go fuck yourselves.
that's what it was.
No.
Well, either way.
Harley said fuck off.
What movie was that?
Charles. That was both X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good movies. I don't care what anyone says.
I know they're all good movies. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, no, all the Marvel cartoons from the 90s up until today have all been pretty decent. I've not run across any that were like, oh my god, this is terrible. Why is this on TV? They've all been good for whatever reason.
Because a lot of people hate the 2010s one.
The 2010, which one? The Marvel Spider-Man?
The 2012 to probably now. A lot of people hate it.
Oh, well, there's no accounting for taste anyways. I liked them. I mean, I've not had any, with the exception of the ones that are made for like preschool kids. I've never watched any of them because I'm not the demographic.
Superhero Squad. I used to watch that.
But I even watched the episode of Phineas and Ferb when the Avengers showed up with Spider-Man.
Wow.
It was pretty good.
And they offered them a grape juice. I had not seen a DC, I had not seen DC crossover with any Warner Bros. Cartoon, unless accounting Animaniacs, where they like dress up as.
Okay, well, I mean, then you've never seen the
Space Jam, the new legacy.
Scooby-Doo and Batman Brave and the Bold was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You know what DC character could also use a benefit from an adaptation, and it could be really funny, like almost kind of like DC's answer to Deadpool movies.
Lobo.
No.
They've already done that.
Plastic.
Lobo. Who?
Plastic Man.
Oh.
Well,
they kind of had that with the elongated man on Flash, but he got written out of the show because he was a piece of shit. What else? And actually that was a decent character. Initially I was like, God, this is like I think Elongated Man came out before Plastic Man. Plastic Man was became a thing I think in the 80s. But it was
DC's trying to attempt to rip off Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it's a parody, but he's pretty funny.
Dude, it's like if you crossed like Deadpool with Mr. Fantastic, essentially. Okay, although he doesn't really break the fourth wall.
Yeah, he's not as funny as Deadpool, but I think he could be a close runner-up. Like he'd maybe be on par with Harley Quinn, but not crazy.
He's right up there with Harley. I think if he did break the fourth wall, that would make him as funny as Deadpool, if not funnier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Netflix shows like with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and we were discussing this before we made the podcast, so let's continue this in depth.
Okay, I mean, yeah, those shows, the ones that I actually liked were Luke Cage and the Defenders, I think was the other one, where they was kind of the Brooklyn equivalent of the Avengers.
I don't watch Netflix that much.
I've only seen 2 seasons of Daredevil and the Defenders. 1 season.
Yeah. Luke Cage, I thought was a much better show. Iron Fist wasn't terrible. I could have been better though. I mean, it was hard. It was hard to relate to him because he was always like Danny Rand, and he was like super fucking rich, like billionaire.
Well,
like
you can relate with Tony Stark, and he's super rich.
Yeah, but he's got a personality. Danny Rand does not.
And people actually started to like Danny Rand when he was teamed up with Luke Cage because they teamed up a lot in the comics. They were like the heroes.
Yeah. It was. And the funny thing is in the animated shows, Danny Rand was played by the same actor who did Beast Boy. So the voice was the same, essentially.
Are you sure? Because I feel like he sounds like some other animated character.
It's the same guy. The animated one from when they were in high school working for
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, that was the same actor who played Beast Boy.
Okay.
And I think he continued to play the role after that when they did other shows with the same character. But yeah.
So, what were we talking about before we cut off and did the podcast?
We were talking about Marvel shows and on Netflix.
Like when we're getting more in depth, but we cut off so we can put in the podcast.
I don't remember, dude.
Well, I guess we could just cut that off and just go on to the European adaptations, just mainly Dracula. And we're talking about Castlevania, Hotel Transylvania, and the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie, which I've not seen, but I'm talking. But you guys, have you seen it? Have you seen the Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I saw it years ago when it was first out on DVD. I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't want to see it in theaters.
What do you think of it?
It was pretty good. I mean, as far as Dracula movies go, I mean,
Gary Oldman's always a win, right?
Gary Oldman as Dracula was pretty awesome, and Keanu Reeves as Renfield was, it was Keanu Reeves.
Before it became John Wick.
It was before John Wick, but it was after Bill and Ted. And it was also before Neo. So
Dracula, dude.
And he was trying to do a British accent, which was even more hilarious.
I got something though.
Well,
it's me.
I sound like I'm from Britain. Yeah, but it was not. It was for me. It wasn't that memorable of a movie. I think I remember one or two scenes from it. There was other movies that I thought were much better as far as Dracula goes and vampire films in general.
So, okay, let's compare, like, Hotel Transylvania's Dracula to Castlevania's Dracula, because it's like comparing cotton candy to freaking Bloodbath.
To a steak dinner. Cotton candy steak dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Castlevania's Dracula is pretty much the Dracula that you see in most old movies. I mean, minus a lot of the blood, I think. But I mean, even the Dracula in Dracula 2000, which was Gerard Butler, he's one of those actors who always plays like all these really unique characters, but he always has a Scottish accent no matter what he's playing.
What about the
so he had Dracula with a Scottish accent.
Christopher Lee's one.
What about him?
I just know that he played Dracula, and did you see him play Dracula?
I've seen clips of it. That was back in the 70s. I didn't like. Back in the 70s, I was a little kid. I wasn't watching any scary movies, and I had no interest in seeing Christopher Lee playing Dracula.
Okay, so when I was a little kid, I sometimes imagined Dracula when I was alone, or when I was I had a mirror above, not a mirror, like a glass window above me, and I imagine Dracula popping in. But when I saw Castlevania with Dracula in it, it made me feel for him. The one thing I used to fear when I was a little kid, I actually felt for him. I felt bad for him. It's kind of like feeling bad for Hitler.
Yeah, a little bit. No, if you
trying to see the human behind the monster.
Yeah. As far as vampire films go, there's so many others out there that are way better than Bram Stoker's. Dracula 2000 is a good one. Then there was what was it? Hold on, I gotta look it up real quick.
But what about the Hotel Transylvania Dracula?
Adam Sandler as a comedic vampire was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen the newest one.
I loved it as a kid. I enjoyed it. Actually,
watch modern day funny Adam Sandler.
He's
Modern
only
day
gotten better.
Adam Sandler.
Well, yeah. Well,
Okay, here it is. It was called John Carpenter's Vampires, and that had like a Dracula storyline. And that one came out. When did this one come out? It came out in 1998, and it starred James Woods and Daniel Baldwin.
okay. So we're now into 10 minutes until the podcast is over. Let's talk about like what we most want from a comic, movie, TV, book, or whatever.
Adaptation.
Yeah, an adaptation.
Yeah. Well, what I want is
and it's something you haven't said before. Something you haven't said before.
It has to be accurate. It has to be faithful to the source material. I want a fresh new story. So that it doesn't. I mean, all right. If it is a direct adaptation, I want it to at least not be a carbon copy of. There's a difference between adapting a story and just completely making it a carbon copy, which is what I feel anime is to manga. It is exactly the same word for word.
That's what I love about it. That's because it's like seeing the manga come to life.
Yeah. All right. Source material has to tell an preferably I want a new story, but if it is a direct adaptation, at least tell it in a different manner or way.
Especially because it's black and white.
Yeah.
I'll say this. The one thing I would like to see in another adaptation of anything is if they're going to tell a story of a character we've already seen the origins of, let's skip the origin story a second or third or even fourth time. Like, we don't need to know, that Batman's parents died. We don't need to know that Uncle Ben was shot and killed.
I think that they're learning from this. From this. Unless it's something we never seen before, like on the big screen.
Right. I mean, Deadpool's origins was cool because, well, nobody knew about it unless you read the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do it for that. But, I mean, with Spider-Man, basically everyone already knew that Uncle Ben died, and
but that's kind of the disadvantage that a lot of people are complaining about, that Uncle Ben is not a big part of Peter Parker in the MCU story. It's more Tony Stark.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Really. I mean, we've had four before Tom Holland, we had 4 Spider-Man movies in the span of 15 years. And in those 4 movies, we've seen this same story 2 times.
Yeah, good point. So, I mean, they could have just hit on it quickly, like in 5 minutes, but they didn't even.
That's what they did in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. They mentioned it and they moved on.
Oh, they did? All right, I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, but no one could ever notice it because it's so subtle.
Yeah. I noticed it.
But Charlie didn't. Not everyone.
Yeah, I might have.
I think they should have made it a little bit more obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So those are my 3 things. To make a successful adaptation: faithful to the source material. Preferably tell a new story, or if you have to. But if you have to copy the same story, just tell it in a different way, make it your own, not just a carbon copy, and have some fun, throw in some Easter eggs for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And beyond all of that, just do everything, and beyond that, just make a good movie. Period. Hire good voice actors, or if it's animated, hire good actors, good writing, good special effects. Yada yada, good dialogue,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, the one I'm most anticipating this decade, the one that I just want to be successful, even if part of me doubts it, is the Fantastic Four by the MCU. Because we've had two Fantastic Four reboots, and still nobody likes them. But I heard so many good things about them. I even watched that one obscure Fantastic Four show, animated show, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I saw them in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen. I haven't seen Fan Four shit. And I don't. I definitely don't need to.
Me neither.
Okay. But supposedly, I want to track down and watch with you. It could be on YouTube, but do you know of the cheesy?
The Fantastic Four in the 1990s.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Nope.
I have.
Okay. You have?
I have. Yeah. In fact, it was. I don't know how I managed to get a hold of it. It was actually at a Blockbuster.
Oh, that's so.
But then later on, I hear that it was never released, although it was on DVD at one
Come
point.
on, three.
What?
3 Fantastic Four movies, and none of them anyone liked.
Well, no, they have their fans, I think.
Well, the first two with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans, I liked. The last one, Fan Forstick, was not great.
No.
Nobody liked that.
Yeah.
I don't think even the director liked it.
No.
Why make it like this?
It was a contractual obligation, I think. But all right. What makes a good adaptation in your book, Brooks?
I already did. Okay. I think that I just wanted to say my most anticipated adaptation. So let's just let Todd have his, and then maybe since we talked about the Jurassic Park adaptation and comparing that, we haven't talked about that yet, and we'll talk about that after he talks about his adaptations.
As far as like what makes a good adaptation is like Charlie said, is like staying closer to the source material, not diverging too much. Unless of course you're trying to like make a new fresh start of an origin stories, then I think that might be something you can let go of. But as far as like just if you're wanting to adapt a story from a book or a comic or a TV show, if you can, try to have people from the original be a part of it.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
that was like the one thing that Michael Bay did right with the first Transformers movies. He got Peter Cullen to play Optimus Prime, although they still replaced
they had
Frank Welker
as Megatron until the fourth one they brought in Frank Welker.
Yeah, well, I mean, Frank Welker did Galvatron, I think, in the third one, but
and then the fifth one he did Megatron again.
Yeah. But yeah, I think bringing in the original cast if you can, even if it's not to play the same characters, but have them as like a cameo appearance. That's always good fan service, assuming you want to do that. And some people don't like fan service. For me, I love it. I love when you show reverence for the source, for the original. It doesn't have to be pandering, but it's nice to see it. Don't change it unless it's something that is you're trying to update it because the original storyline wouldn't work today for whatever reason, because the characters were like not cool by today's standards. I think that's pretty much it, man. Good, and all the other stuff is it's a given. Good writing, good actors, good director, good story. Those should be like. There's no question of that should be a thing. If it's not a thing, then it should be a thing. So,
yeah. Okay. Wait, but one thing.
I should mention that my favorite movie of all time, Wanted, with Morgan Freeman, James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie.
It's a good movie.
Oh yes. It's
I need to watch the rest
based
of it.
on off of a comic, and then it is almost nothing like the comic source material at all.
Yeah.
It's my favorite movie of all time. So
Yeah.
that proves that deriving substantially from going away from the source material a lot can help out, can work. It can work
Yeah.
as long as you do something fresh and new that
Right.
I think fans of the source material would like.
Okay.
Right.
One thing. Okay. Two things. I'm gonna say it once. That I feel like that adaptations. I want to see the comic on the screen. I get it. You want different experience on the screen, but you're not. But don't you want to see the comic like in motion? Like, don't you want to see those in motion on the screen? That's why I feel like
Yeah.
the direct to DVD like movies get. Like with
Yeah.
Warner Bros, they actually like put the comic panels on the screen and you're actually watching it. And two,
Right.
let's get to okay, that's it. Let's get to what he thinks of Jurassic Park because we both read Jurassic Park, and let's get this is our last thing, and then we're done.
Well, I just want to say one more thing about like the adaptations is that like one adaptation that did well in theaters, but it was the only similarity between the source material and the movie was the title of the movie, which was World War Z.
Oh.
The book was completely different from the movie, 100% different. But as far as Jurassic Park goes, yeah, the book was 100 times better. In fact, some of the bits that I liked that were in the book that weren't in the movie ended up being in the second movie.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't read the book in years, but I can. It's probably good. All right.
I haven't read it since like I think it was like 98, 99. And the part that I thought was funny, there was a scene in the book where T-Rex was like, he was in a food coma. He just got done eating a bunch of other dinosaurs, and he was just chilling underneath a tree, and just kind of like sitting there, like doing his best impression of Al Bundy, just scratching his belly with his short little arms, and enjoying the sun as he's just digesting whatever that was he just ate, and he farted. I laughed so hard at that. I was like, why didn't that? What? Of course, that was goofy and silly. That's why it wasn't in the movie. But I would have been so elated if they had it in the movie. It would have been like, oh, this is great. That was the funniest part of the whole book was the T-Rex farting. Yeah, it never happened in the movie.
Okay. I think that's enough for today, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
All right. Yeah. See you around, guys.
Bye.
See ya.